Now, allegations of the embattled Police Minister Senzo Mchunu's presidential ambitions and the Hawks' interference in police investigations are under the spotlight at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. The commission will continue its hearings in Pretoria this morning. For more on what's expected today, let's go live to Sakina Kamwendo and our reporter, SABC News' Canny Maphanga, both in Pretoria. Let me begin with you, Sakina. Again, another witness expected today. Good morning. Let's talk about that.
Good morning, Leanne, and absolutely. And of course, what we are also expecting is further corroboration of what has taken place and also more details perhaps about what exactly went down in that Operation Takedown. And Canny Maphanga, of course, here with me, who's been watching these proceedings. Canny, and you know, it's all about the detail now. You know, we heard from witnesses ABC, then we had the forensics expert and members of the Hawks. So it's all about piecing together exactly what happened and the details surrounding it.
Indeed, and it seems that there's a lot to draw from the December takedown of Sakina Kamwendo and then, of course, the brutal murder of Armand Swart, because it seems from these two events, there's a lot of information coming out that provides clarity to the events that you saw in the murder and the subsequent links that one can draw from the murder of Armand Swart and the various crime scenes that were combed thereafter. With the dramatic takedown of Sakina Kamwendo, we've heard information about who was around when they first descended on the property. We've heard information about how the Hawks found their way to that residence. Even though they had been told it's a legitimate operation, they still felt the need to go there and stay there for an hour, even sending a chopper to, I guess, cover that area of that particular residence. We're hearing about how the search found documents that linked to that tender which QTech, the employer of Armand Swart, had flagged as a manipulation of a tender in terms of how they had secured that particular deal. And we're hearing about the documents being in the office of the house of Sakina Kamwendo. But what information could possibly be revealed more regarding what was found in the house, or who was found in the house of Sakina Kamwendo? We're hearing that it was a big property, massive property, and it took them quite a while for them to get into that residence and search it in its totality. Could it be that the reports that we saw in the media about politicians, alleged politicians being found allegedly in that house, could that emerge from the witnesses' testimony today about what else was discovered and what links we could possibly draw from that discovery?
And of course, that ballistics evidence, that particular weapon that was used, coming up with several hits, 21 hits at first, which subsequently increased. And then, of course, also Jerry Bushoka and his alleged presence at some point in that huge property that you speak of, Canny.
Indeed. So the AK-47 is actually quite crucial because it hones down on who could have possibly been responsible and what the motive could have been behind these murders that are all linked to one another. Because you're finding the AK-47 in the scene of the murder of Armand Swart. It's also present in the murder of DJ Somebody, DJ Fintos, businessman Don Tindleni, 20 other murders, and of course the attempted murder of Debo Khotobejane, who is the former partner of Buzimuzi Cat Matlala. So you're seeing this one firearm find meaning in various different crime scenes for different occasions and under different circumstances. What that does is that it hones down and I guess closes that circle on who could it possibly be that is involved in these alleged murders, and of course what the means or to the end that they were trying to achieve by, I guess, wiping out these alleged threats to whatever benefits or operations that they enjoyed within the Gauteng province. I think what the ballistics evidence was able to show is how crucial that evidence is. And then if you have an element where there are discrepancies or the paperwork is not up to scratch, which is what we're hearing, what happened with Captain Mokotle's initial report, and then he issues a second report which is backdated, which could be seen as a form of trying to conceal what was being hidden in the first report. We're seeing how those types of discrepancies can severely harm the advancement of the case, because if you have discrepancies of that nature, you're not able to link the firearm to an identity, and you're also not able to link it to various crime scenes because of the discrepancies in the ballistics report, which is crucial to the fight against organized crime, which is centered on these use of high caliber rifles and other firearms in order to carry out or commission these offenses.
Well, thanks, Canny. And of course, we'll canvass more of these details later on when we come back. We're also going to have two expert witnesses to talk us through some of these details. But of course, as Canny says, some of the questions also speak to just how deep the rot allegedly runs within the ranks of the South African Police Services. The question arose about the projectile that was found in the body of Armand Swart and why it took 3 weeks for that to actually make its way to the forensics lab. And there are so many questions, but of course, so many linkages that are also being made.